Movie Holics!
Thank goodness.
Hey everyone, Jack Hudgens on the niche, and I am back. I know it's been a while, but I'm here now. Get over it. About a month ago, I left you with a review of the live-action Attack on Titan. Hey yo! And I've since seen the sequel, Attack on Titan, End of the World. In the States, it's just called Attack on Titan Part 2. Boring! I like End of the World better. When I reviewed the first film, I talked a lot about how it was different from the source material. The movie had flaws, big ones, but I made it clear it had very little to do with the changes and the special effects. This time I don't have to worry about talking about the deviations because this movie goes on a completely different course from the anime and manga. Attack on Titan End of the World is a kaiju film. Not only is it a kaiju film, but specifically a throwback to the Ishiro Honda film War of the Gargantuas. Director Shinji Higuchi even referenced it in a television special. When I first read the series, Attack on Titan, I thought, this is the War of the Gargantuas. So once again, Katsuro Inoue's special effects are beautiful, stylized, and fun. Shinji Higuchi, on the other hand, needs to pull back on the exposition, but otherwise his characters feel more natural and the story is a lot tighter. The sequel takes itself a little less seriously, and it makes it more fun and easier to enjoy. Granted, this also takes away from the horror element of the first film. In a similar way that Alien is a horror movie, and Aliens is an action flick, Attack on Titan End of the World is more of a kaiju slugfest than Part 1. I admit I missed the horror from the first film, but the trade-off for a better movie is definitely worth it. Now, it's not necessarily for hardcore fans who want a frame-by-frame adaptation, but that's already been established in the first film. Since this looks and feels like a kaiju movie, I'm going to treat it like one. Not that it's the best example of that genre either, but much cooler than most people think. So let's travel to Spoiler Island where, you know, I need a title card or something so people know I'm about to go into spoilers here. This is why we need more subscribers. My budget's showing. So the movie opens like a bad television recap. We get a clip show explaining what happened in the first movie, which is just a waste of time. Not a lot of time, but we could have gone without it. Then we find Eren shackled and interrogated by military police commander Kubal. Kubal is played by Jun Kunimura, who is in Higuchi's previous films, Japan Sinks, and The Hidden Fortress. Not stranger to kaiju films either, Kunimura was also in Godzilla: Final Wars. Although he doesn't do a lot throughout the movie, Kunimura makes good use of his material. His fascist monologue is all exposition, but for the first time in these films, I feel like the characters are really oppressed. That is, of course, until the Armored Titan drops on top of him. A horrifying and at the same time gorgeous creature design. The Armored Titan wipes out Cabal and his military, leaving only Armin, Mikasa, and other survivors of the Scout Regiment alive. I could argue this is probably the best effects sequence in both movies. The suit, the miniatures, the interaction with the characters, it all works almost flawlessly. So the Armored Titan kidnaps Eren and leaves Armin and Mikasa to leave the troops to complete their mission. And again, this gives Armin more to do. Not merely the brains of the operation, Armin assumes a leader position that may or may not be the anime's endgame. Furthermore, his relationship with Sasha is even more obvious here. It's nothing explicit, but I do appreciate the subtle romance that he's getting. Meanwhile, Eren wakes up in some sort of Orwellian room of sin after Shikishima claims he rescued him from the Armored Titan. These rooms should be fairly boring because of how bland they look, but because we're so used to debris in a post-apocalyptic world, it's kind of interesting. iHome clickers, a jukebox, a video projector, champagne, it's all been sort of locked away in these rooms for the government to enjoy. But because this is the area the Titans attacked in the last movie, it's abandoned. It's here Shikishima reveals how the Titans were created and how they drove mankind near extinction. I gave Shikishima so much crap in my last review for being fairly useless and over the top, and I am about to reverse that opinion. In the last movie, he came off as a really bad Levi replacement, but in this film, it's very clear that he's a wholly original character. The way he acts and treats Eren is legitimized here. It all sort of makes sense now. Shikishima is portrayed by popular Japanese actor Hiroki Hasegawa. Hasegawa is becoming a tokusatsu regular, starring in Shion Sano's Love and Peace and next year's Shin Godzilla, now with the English title Godzilla Resurgence. Hasegawa's performance as Shikishima is one of the stronger parts of the film, especially now that I know what his character is up to. Shikishima shows Eren how the world once was, how the government inadvertently made the Titans and nearly drove humanity to extinction. He blames the government not only for covering it up, but for the poverty that humanity now lives with. Hasegawa is effective in delivering all of this, and the montage he shows keeps up the drama, but it's a lot of exposition to take in. Cabal and Shikishima make it very clear that the government is corrupt, but we never actually see it for ourselves. It's a little odd that it takes until the second movie to make it clear just how badly things are run. Anyway, it turns out Shikishima has recruited his own men for a coup against the government, and he wants Eren to join. Along the way, they end up meeting with Armin, Mikasa, and the rest of the scout regiment, and they have a confrontation over the last of the explosives. Armin wants to use the explosives to plug the wall and regain their land. Shikishima wants the explosives to blow a hole in another wall and let all the Titans in to kill the government. Wait, what? Yeah, Eren didn't know that part. Turns out Shikishima's a little nuts, but delightfully nuts. It works for his character. What doesn't work is his confrontation, which is absolutely the worst part of the movie. It has a little bit of everything that was wrong with the first movie in this scene. It's clunky and the dialogue doesn't work. Shikishima brings back his apple, and Eren has another angst moment. And then there's Tsunagi, an original character who for no explainable reason in the last movie was able to throw a Titan over his shoulder. He takes out all of Shikishima's men using the 3D maneuvering anchors to pull an old building on top of them. It's not as bad as some of the worst moments in the last movie, but it's a pretty terrible confrontation. The only redeeming moment in this scene is Hans freaking out over the modern day weapons. Academy Prize winner Satomi Ishihara had the right idea with Hans. She becomes progressively more insane and over the top as the movie goes on, so much so that her performance during the film's climax is an absolute riot. She ends up being the only character enjoying the action as much as the audience. But as much as I can identify with her enthusiasm, she couldn't save the scene where Shikishima initially confronts the scout regiment. So clearly the movie needed to rebound after that scene. And it does, with the gorgeous armored Titan. Ooh, surprise! But not really, because it was kind of obvious the entire time. Shikishima is the armored Titan. Yeah, not Levi at all. So Shikishima transforms and shows off his muscle by taking out 2 Titans. That was so cool. Can we watch that again? One more time. Okay, see, this is where Higuchi and Inoue practically end up remaking War of the Gargantuas. Not only is the image of unique, humanoid monsters duking it out a stark reminder of War of the Gargantuas, but also, like the monsters from the 1966 classic, these Titans are brothers. Did I mention Shikishima's more interesting in this movie? Earlier in the movie, it's revealed that Eren had a brother, and both were experimented on by their father. While it's never explicitly stated, it's pretty obvious that that brother is Shikishima. Hasegawa's performance suggests he knows the truth, but there's a certain tragedy to Eren not knowing he's fighting his own brother, and he never does figure it out. Now, I'm not sure if this was done to make it more like War of the Gargantuas or not, but it's still an interesting, if superfluous addition to the story. So Eren comes out victorious after an insane battle with the armored Titan, and it is kaiju ass-kicking gold. So next, Eren in Titan form places an old bomb in the wall to seal the hole. But who should thwart their plans but Cabal? But how is he still alive? Guess who the Colossal Titan is? After Cabal transforms into the Titan that caused everything, the characters realize that he used his power to rule with fear. The Colossal Titan attack 2 years ago was to keep humanity in check and make sure no one would dare venture outside the wall. Cabal wants complete fascist control. So this dives into some incredible effects sequence with Eren climbing up the back of the Colossal Titan and the 3D maneuvering gear being used to fight against him. And right when things can't get any more insane, Shikishima comes back and decides to help out. To me, the armored Titan is the real star of this movie, so the fact Higuchi was able to work him in again so organically is really fantastic. Remember when the T-Rex came back at the end of Jurassic Park to save the day? Not quite as effective, but very similar feel. The final climactic action shot in the movie is this really memorable frame of the armored Titan leaping above the wall with explosives in both hands, and he slam dunks them into the face of the Colossal Titan. Because the size difference between the two Titans is so drastic, It's a really well done, well crafted shot, and it stands out as one of the best moments in the entire film. It's just a really fun, really exhilarating climax, and it completely solidifies how well this movie works when the monsters are on screen. Now granted, a lot of plot points are still pretty clunky, because Aaron never remembers or discovers how he got his power, and he never figures out who his brother is. Furthermore, we never figure out how Mikasa survived the Titan attack in the first movie, and we don't know what happens to all the Titans that are still inside the wall. But the main antagonists are overcome, and the original mission is accomplished. It's got a lot of problems, but it's less groan-worthy than the last movie. No crazy single moms in this one! Purists won't like it, but kaiju fans will find a lot to love. In its realm of clunkiness, it's a smoother, tighter, more fun film than Part 1. I won't recommend this for everyone, but if you have a craving for some well-crafted kaiju action, green light, have fun. So how did you feel about Attack on Titan: End of the World? Better or worse than the last movie? I want to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, if you like this video, please subscribe to Movie Holics. I keep getting confused where the button is, but it's red, it says subscribe. Please hit it. And also make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud. And don't forget to check out the website movieholics.net. And if you want to follow me personally, my Twitter is gmanon_sci-fi. You can check out more of my thoughts on the Attack on Titan movie in the description below. Well, thanks for playing along, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you soon in the niche. Adios!